Hey there, everyone. I know, another Medford, but what can I tell you? I got a couple. This one, I wanted to kind of do a comparison between these two TFF-1s that I have here. So one of them is the original style, and then one is the current style, if you will. And there is a couple of slight dimension differences, which we'll talk about. This one is a newer style one that I got a year and a half ago, kind of with that thin blue line, which is kind of fitting. My brother was law enforcement for 30 years and retired recently. Well, maybe not so recently. Maybe 3 years ago he's retired now. 2 years? Whatever. And I work with a lot of law enforcement. There's law enforcement in my family and, all of that. So this one was fitting. I'm a big supporter of the thin blue line. This one I recently got, but this is one of the first generation TFF-1s. So it has an older style clip and a different blade shape. So this is the very first knife, not this specific one, but this model was the very first knife that Greg ever drew up, designed, and made. The TFF-1 is the Tactical Fighting Folder. So let's jump into the specs. Let's show this one first, and then we'll show the other one to do some comparisons. Close length is 5.5, just a hair over 5.5. Overall length on this particular one is 9.5 inches. The other one is 9 9/16. Blade length is 4.17 on this one and 4.2 on the other one. So it's just a hair longer. The edge length is 3.95 and 404. They're both made out of D2 and they're both the 0.180 blade thickness. 190 in the catalog and the website, but I don't know. I measured at 0.180. This one weighs in at 9.5 ounces, and the other one is at 9.1 ounces. They are both 0.48 of an inch thick, minus the clip. And they both run on Foster bronze washers. This particular one is PVD coated with the thin blue line laser etching. Set that guy in the back. This one has got the bronze ano and tiger stripe flaming on the back with the different pocket clip. I'm not 100% sure if this is titanium bent clip or if it's steel, but I think it's titanium. So this one has a little bit different blade shape. It has a much more pronounced belly. Why he changed, I don't know. I've been carrying this for a little while, both of them. I've had this one for quite a while, but this one, having that extra meat in the belly really gives you some options. And then this one has, it's a black oxide coated blade, and then they did some, I don't know how they did that actually, but they did kind of the MKT logo there on the backside of the blade. I don't know the process that they used for that, but it's really cool. When this one came up for sale, I just kind of had to grab it. You'll also notice a difference on the hardware, which we talked about on another video recently. The older style simply threads through the first one and into the lock side scale. Whereas on the more current version, it has a finished head on either side that thread into the spacer. But overall, very similar, it's the same jimping, it's virtually the same profile, the same length. It's off by, a hair shorter and longer, but it's that blade that really stands out. The action on them is both pretty good. They both actually have a couple of issues, and they need to go back in for some warranty repair. This one's not quite as smooth, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but that's one of the reasons why it needs to go back, which I'll get around to at some point. It's always kind of a pain to box them up and send them out and all of that, so I tend to wait a while until I have a few that need to go in. But I really like this particular model. I have a couple of TFF-1 Fat Daddies also. What I do appreciate about this one is the lock face is completely protected, and you'll see that on some of my other videos. I talk about that being a concern. Also, the lock bar cutout on this one is still a hard edge, so it's not super comfortable, but as you're gripping it, this one actually feels really good. Even when you choke up, you're not going to really, this being a hard edge isn't really a problem on either of them. Is it something I think that they could just do better in general and elevate things a little bit and give it a little bit more refined, finished type of thing if they were to just soften that edge in general on all of their models? Absolutely. But, hey, it works and it's okay. So let's give you a couple of size comparisons here just so that we can make sure you guys understand how big these are. So your Sharpie really is the size of the handle. And it's kind of a weird shaped handle, it kind of sticks out on the edge. It actually, if I think about it, I have the Strider SNG right here. And I didn't realize that until right now, it's similar in shape. Huh, yeah. And this one does fit good in the hand, and I never thought that one would be, or would not fit well. But as you saw in my Strider video, I always thought this was a little kind of goofy looking and wouldn't be comfortable, but it is. So here's a size comparison with that. The TFF-1 is not a small knife by any means. 4-inch blade, that's not a small knife. And how about the Todd Begg Steelcraft Field Marshal? About the same. The hair longer on the TFF-1. And just because it's right here, the Sebenza Large 21. So yeah, the TFF-1 is not a small knife. It fits well in the pocket, and it's just cool. So give it kind of a close-up walk around on this one. Again, this is very older, original style, probably around 2013 or longer than, I don't know when this one was made. This one did not come with a date, I don't think. Forgot to check that right before the video just to make sure, but it does have a lanyard hole on the one side there, which is cool. The clip, it's not my favorite clip. I prefer the more current generation clips, but it's cool because it is more of the original style. That's why I wanted this. Not that I, by any shape, needed another TFF-1. So I have these two TFF-1s, and then I have two Fat Daddies, which are the same exact footprint, just with the .260 blade, which is really like 2.5 blade, or .250 blade. But I like this shape and this style. So there you have it. This is the TFF-1 original style and TFF-1 current version. The most current version, I think, has a little bit different pocket clip, but this, like I said, this is a couple years old. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed. I will put a link in the description below to some other Medford videos on the playlist that you could check out if you so desire. And if you have any questions Medford related or anything else related, please let me know. I greatly appreciate your time. And we will see you on the next one.